Question 1. What will be affected if the road surface becomes soft in very hot weather? D. The tire grip. Explanation. If the road surface becomes very hot, it can soften. Tires are unable to grip a soft surface as well as they can a firm, dry one. Take care when cornering and braking. Question 2. How can you avoid wheel spin when you're driving on an icy road? A. Drive at a slow speed in the highest gear possible. Explanation. If you're traveling on an icy road, extra caution will be required to avoid loss of control. Keeping your speed down and using the highest gear possible will reduce the risk of the tires losing their grip on the slippery surface. Question 3. Where is your vehicle most likely to be affected by side winds? C. On an open stretch of road. Explanation. A strong gust of wind can blow you off course. Watch out for other road users who are particularly likely to be affected, such as cyclists, motorcyclists, high-sided lorries, and vehicles towing trailers. Question 4. What's the main benefit of driving a four-wheel drive vehicle? D. Improved grip on the road. Explanation. By driving all four wheels, the vehicle has maximum grip on the road. This grip is especially helpful when traveling on slippery or uneven surfaces. However, having four-wheel drive doesn't replace the skills you need to drive safely. Question 5. What should you do when you're overtaking a motorcyclist on a windy day? B. Pass widely. Explanation. In strong winds, riders of two-wheeled vehicles are particularly vulnerable. When you overtake them, allow plenty of room. Check to the left as you pass to make sure they're safe. Question 6. You're about to go down a steep hill. What should you do to control the speed of your vehicle? C. Select a low gear and use the brakes carefully. Explanation. When driving down a steep hill, gravity will cause your vehicle to speed up. This will make it more difficult to stop. To help keep your vehicle's speed under control, select a lower gear to give you more engine braking and make careful use of the brakes. Question 7. In which conditions will your overall stopping distance increase? D. In the rain. Explanation. Extra care should be taken in wet weather. On wet roads, your stopping distance could be double that in dry conditions. Question 8. What requires extra care when you're driving or riding in windy conditions? A. Passing pedal cyclists. Explanation. Always give cyclists plenty of room when overtaking them. You need to give them even more room when it's windy. A sudden gust could easily blow them off course and into your path. Question 9. What does it mean if the electronic stability control (ESC) indicator lamp comes on briefly while you're driving? A. The ESC system has activated. Explanation. ESC is a computer-controlled technology that detects reduced traction and automatically makes corrective adjustments to prevent loss of control. The ESC lamp comes on briefly to alert the driver that the system has activated and the car is approaching its handling limits. It's a powerful driver aid, but it cannot save a car once its traction limits have been exceeded. Question 10. You're following other vehicles in fog. You have your headlights on dipped beam. What else can you do to reduce the chances of being in a collision? N. Keep a safe distance from the vehicle in front. Explanation. When it's foggy, use your headlights on dip beam. This will help you see and be seen by other road users. If visibility is seriously reduced, consider using front and rear fog lights if you have them. Keep to a sensible speed and don't follow the vehicle in front too closely. If the road is wet and slippery, you'll need to allow twice the normal stopping distance. Question 11. You're driving along a wet road. How can you tell if your vehicle's tires are losing their grip on the surface? A. The steering will feel very light. Explanation. If you drive at speed in very wet conditions, your steering may suddenly feel lighter than usual. This means that the tires have lifted off the surface of the road and are floating on the surface of the water. This is known as aquaplaning. Reduce speed, but don't brake until your steering returns to normal. Question 12. What will help you to move off on a snowy surface? C. Using a higher gear than normal. Explanation. If you attempt to move off in a low gear, there'll be more torque, turning force, at the driven wheels than if you use a higher gear. More torque makes it easier for the tires to lose grip, and so spin the wheels. Question 13. What should you do when you park a car facing downhill? D. Turn the steering wheel towards the curb. Explanation. Turning the wheels towards the curb will allow them to act as a chock, preventing any forward movement of the vehicle. It will also help to leave your car in gear, or select park if you have an automatic. Question 14. Why should you keep well to the left as you approach a right-hand bend? D. To improve your view of the road. Explanation. Keeping to the left as you approach right-hand bends will give you an earlier view around the bend and enable you to see any hazards sooner. It also reduces the risk of collision with any oncoming vehicle that may have drifted over the center line while taking the bend. Question 15. How much can stopping distances increase in icy condition? B. 10 times. Explanation. Tire grip is greatly reduced in icy conditions. For this reason, you need to allow up to 10 times the stopping distance you would allow on dry roads. Question 16. What should you do when you're using a contraflow system? D. Choose an appropriate lane in good time. Explanation. In a contraflow system, you'll be traveling close to oncoming traffic and sometimes in narrow lanes. You should get into the correct lane in good time, obey any temporary speed limit signs, and keep a safe separation distance from the vehicle ahead. Question 17. What would suggest you're driving on an icy road? C. There's less tire noise. Explanation. Drive extremely carefully when the roads are icy. When traveling on ice, tires make virtually no noise and the steering feels light and unresponsive. In icy conditions, be very gentle when braking, accelerating, and steering. Question 18. How should you use anti-lock brakes when you need to stop in an emergency? B. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped. Explanation. If you have ABS and need to stop in an emergency, keep your foot firmly on the brake pedal until the vehicle has stopped. When the ABS operates, you may hear a grating sound and feel vibration through the brake pedal. This is normal, and you should maintain pressure on the brake pedal until the vehicle stops. Question 19. What should you do before starting a journey in foggy weather? B. Allow more time. Explanation. Don't venture out if your journey isn't necessary. If you have to travel, and someone is expecting you at the other end, let them know that you'll be taking longer than usual for your journey. This will stop them worrying if you don't turn up on time and will also take the pressure off you, so you don't feel you have to rush. Question 20. What's the main cause of skidding? C. The driver. Explanation. Skidding is usually caused by driver error. You should always adjust your driving to take account of the road and weather conditions. Question 21. You're about to start a journey in freezing weather. What part of your vehicle should you clear of ice and snow? C. The windows. Explanation. Driving in bad weather increases your risk of having a collision. If you absolutely have to travel, clear your lights, mirrors, number plates, and windows of any snow or ice so that you can see and be seen. Question 22. You're driving on an open road in dry weather. What distance should you keep from the vehicle in front? D. A 2-second time gap. Explanation. One way of checking there's a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front is to use the 2-second rule. Check for a 2-second time gap. Choose a stationary object ahead, such as a bridge or road sign. When the car in front passes the object, only a fool breaks the 2-second rule. If you reach the object before you finish saying the phrase, "You're too close," and need to increase the gap. Question 23. You're driving in a built-up area that has traffic calming measures. What should you do when you approach a road hump? B. Check your mirror and slow down. Explanation. Many towns have road humps as part of traffic calming measures, designed to slow down traffic. Reduce your speed when driving over them. If you go too fast, you could lose control or damage your car. Look out for pedestrians or cyclists while you're driving in these areas. Question 24. How can you use your vehicle's engine as a brake? D. By changing to a lower gear. Explanation. When driving on downhill stretches of road, selecting a lower gear gives increased engine braking. This will prevent excessive use of the brakes, which become less effective if they overheat. Question 25. On what type of road surface may anti-lock brakes be ineffective? C. Loose. Explanation. Poor contact with the road surface could cause one or more of the tires to lose grip on the road. This is more likely to happen when braking in poor weather conditions and when the road has a loose, slippery, or uneven surface. Question 26. You're traveling on the motorway. How can you lower the risk of a collision when the vehicle behind is following too closely? D. Increase your distance from the vehicle in front. Explanation. On busy roads, traffic may still travel at high speeds. Don't follow the vehicle in front too closely. If a driver behind seems to be pushing you, gradually increase your distance from the vehicle in front by slowing down gently. This will give you more space in front if you have to brake and will reduce the risk of a collision involving several vehicles. Question 27. What should you do when you're driving in snowy conditions? A. Brake gently, in plenty of time. Explanation. In snowy conditions, be careful with the steering, accelerator, and brakes. Braking sharply while you're driving on snow is likely to make your car skid. Question 28. You've just gone through floodwater. What should you do to make sure your brakes are working properly? C. Go slowly while gently applying the brakes. Explanation. Water on the brakes will act as a lubricant, causing them to work less efficiently. Using the brakes lightly as you go along will quickly dry them out. Question 29. You're driving along a country road. You see this sign. What should you do after dealing safely with the hazard? A. Test your brakes. Explanation. If your brakes have been thoroughly soaked, you should check that they're working properly before you build up speed again. Before you do this, remember to check your mirrors and consider what's behind you. Question 30. You're driving in freezing conditions. What should you do as you approach a sharp bend? B. Slow down gently. Explanation. Harsh use of the accelerator, brakes, or steering is likely to lead to skidding, especially on slippery surfaces. Avoid steering and braking at the same time. In icy conditions, it's very important that you constantly assess what's ahead so that you can take appropriate action in plenty of time. Question 31. You're following a vehicle on a wet road. You stay a safe distance behind it. What should you do if a driver overtakes you and pulls into the gap you've left? B. Drop back to regain a safe distance. Explanation. Wet weather will affect the time it takes for you to stop and can affect your control. Your speed should allow you to stop safely and in good time. If another vehicle pulls into the gap you've allowed, ease back until you've regained your stopping distance. Question 32. You're driving a vehicle that has anti-lock brakes. How should you apply the foot brake when you need to stop in an emergency? N. Rapidly and firmly. Explanation. You may have to stop in an emergency due to a misjudgment by another driver or a hazard arising suddenly, such as a child running out into the road. If your vehicle has anti-lock brakes, you should apply the brakes immediately and keep them firmly applied until you stop. Question 33. What lights should you use when you're driving on a wet motorway and vehicles are throwing up surface spray? C. Dipped headlights. Explanation. When surface spray reduces visibility, switch on your headlights on dipped beam. This will help other road users to see you. Question 34. What can result when you travel for long distances in neutral, known as coasting? B. Reduction in control. Explanation. Coasting is the term used when the clutch is held down or the gear lever is in neutral. and the vehicle is allowed to freewheel. This reduces the driver's control of the vehicle. When you coast, the engine can't drive the wheels to stabilize you through a corner, or give the assistance of engine braking to help slow the car.